Generic greetings and welcome back to Prison Architect, where in the previous series we made a low progressing up to a medium risk facility that was all about high capacity, hence the dormitories that we had. It was all about reform, which meant we ran a lot of programs, things like alcoholics group therapy, behavioural treatment, pharmacological treatment to drug addiction, all of that sort of thing. And then finally giving people, as best we can anyway, jobs. So we had a lot of workshops, but also employed a lot of people in the kitchen, the canteen, and all of that stuff as well. And eventually, it worked out quite well. The original idea was sound, but with low-risk prisoners not wanting to work in the workshop, it didn't really function as intended until we started phasing those out towards the mid part of the series. And then eventually, once we phased those out and got a lot of medium-risk prisoners, it worked a lot better. So very happy overall with that build, and because of that, it had good reform, it had good health, and it had probably more power than that one that's showing in the background there. In this series, we're going to be building another facility, but we're going to flip it on its head. So we're going to do something that is all about high risk, Supermax, and eventually death row, but that might be an expansion piece, we'll have to see. And also, we're not going to run as many reform programs. I'm not saying we're not going to do any at all, but it'll be a lot less than the previous one, and almost no jobs if at all. As an added sort of step and an added extra difficulty, what we're also going to do is limit ourselves to the number of guards that we can get, and I'm aiming for around about one guard every 10 prisoners. Now that's going to cause problems on its own, but we'll have to see how we get on, and that number may change based on, well, how much it kicks off. This was a suggestion on the channel, so thanks very much for that one. I think that's an interesting challenge, and we're going to go with it. So let's go to create new prison. We're going to go for a male prison with probably the pacifier, which reduces the overall temperature of the prison. So they're less likely to cause trouble, which I think is pretty good for the high-risk facility. We're going to go for a medium style of map, or a medium size of map. Fog of war will be on, forests will be on. We're not going to have lakes or buildings. Failure conditions are on, so are gangs and events, and staff needs, why not? We're not going to do escape plans. Sorry, no, escape plans are on, not unlimited funds, no tools and cheats, and I'm not going to bother with weather and temperature. Also, just to give ourselves just a little bit of an advantage, we're going to go with super guards, which is lightening the load. So your guards are the cream of the crop. They don't screw around, they are bigger, stronger, faster, and more observant. So this makes us it doesn't necessarily even the playing field, because only having one guard per 10 prisoners is still going to be a lot. It's going to be very difficult, considering that we'll have to choose what type of guard that we have. And when I say guard, I do mean standard guards, K9 units, snipers, and armed guards. So when we get a guard slot, we're going to have to decide which one we get. I mean, just off the bat, that's going to make escorting prisoners from the reception to their cell, that's going to make that quite difficult as well, so we'll have to see how that one gets on. We've also got the good stuff here, which is prisoners take drugs and alcohol will randomly gain reputation trait, making them progressively more difficult to deal with. We could go with some of these. There's other ones like, for example, spectral staff, where they go through walls. We've got like old school intake, which means they constantly come in. I've checked most of these, and there's nothing that's really standing out. Extra reputations was interesting, and we did do that before, but it also made us fail, because it was this sort of snowball effect where prisoners would teach, if they got a trait that would teach you, they could teach that to other people. You then had other traits which would amplify others, and it just snowballed to pretty much instant death. So we're going to keep it on super guards, and that's the only one we're going to have for the time being. You've also got danger zone, acid rain, volatile prisoners, but I think, as I said, gang warfare, which is only gang members in your prison. You know what, we're going to turn that on as well. Gang warfare and super guards. So this is really a Supermax facility. And then we're going to click play, and as always, the first episode of the series will be just about planning, but not necessarily like we've done it before, because normally I would immaculately lay it out and such, and we're not going to do that. I don't think we're going to do that in this series. I'm going to roughly plan out what we think will be necessary, and then start building from next episode onwards. And I think that's just going to speed things up just a little bit, just to change it up, because why not? So I'm just going to go around here, and I'm just removing all of these trees. As you can see, I'm sure I'll miss some of them, but it's not really a big problem. We'll have to go ahead and get some exports as well, and then get all these trees out. This in itself will probably give us a fairly decent amount of money. See, we can't just like click and drag and highlight, rather than just sort of rub around on the screen here, because that's all we're doing really. And there we go. Right, so we're going to go over to rooms, and then we'll type in exports, and hang on, that's not exports. There we go, exports, and then we'll place that just over here. It doesn't really matter where it goes, and there we are. So in terms of the intake, I need to find where the center of this thing is. So let's go over to walls here with the planning tool. I'm going to go down. So that's 120. So we need to look for the 60 mark. There's 59. So that should roughly be the center there. Let me just double check that one. So we'll go down to there. That is a total of 60 to there. And then from this side, that is, hang on, let me cancel that because I've got it wrong. Well, I'll measure from that corner there. So it's 59 from that edge. And from this one, it is also 59. Okay, that's fine. So that will be the main entrance to the facility. But what I'm going to do is have a gap of 2 and then a sort of 1, 2, so like a little walkway down here. So we'll have like it, actually we'll make it even bigger just because we've got the room. I'm not going to be too bothered about the space that we use in here. Like I say, I want it to be a bit more open than it perhaps is. In fact, what I might do is increase the size of this, so have it so that there's a lot more sort of space for them to walk on. So we'll probably do that, and then I can have this as an extra. Actually, we don't want it to double the path. We'll just need to, or we won't need to triple the path, but we will double the path. So we'll do that down to there. This will be a double-skinned facility, so we're going to measure about 10 out from the edge and probably give it a little bit extra just for good measure. So the entrance will be sort of, I don't know, 40. That's actually perfectly fine there. So this is where we'll have like our reception in here. It's going to be a fairly big reception there, so we'll just check the internals. Looks like it's a 10 by 8, which is more than enough. In terms of the distance from the edge of this one, we're going to go with 10, so that's fine to there, and then over to here, that's 10 to there. So that is the external layer. You might think this is a bit big, and yes, it is. Like I say, we are going for something that's not, I wouldn't say deliberately inefficient, but also something that's just a bit sort of standoutish. So it's 10 to there, that's fine, and then we'll go straight across, and it's a bit different from this edge because we're going to have all of the stuff either side here, all of these sort of staff-only bits over this edge anyway, so we can pretty much go down to there. And then all of the extra bits will come off here. In fact, we might even just do that and just say, right, that's where, that's like staff only stuff, and then this is a bit staff only, and then we can have all of the extra bits in there, and this is going to be just one big building there, so it'll be something like that, and then something like that. Let me just double check all these measurements again. So that is a 10 there, that is totally fine. This one is a 10 there, that's fine. The reason I've gone with 10 is simply because you need a distance of 10 from this edge here, so we know with these 2 extra, we've got more than enough, and obviously we can have the walkways around there. This internal one will be perimeter wall and the external will be fencing. Other way around might be better because it means we can keep an eye on it, so perhaps I'll change it up, but I haven't yet decided. Anyway, so we have the reception here. We want it so that the prisoners, when they come in, they'll go through the reception and then they'll just be let out to go wherever. With it being a limited number of guards, we're going to be using very heavily, eventually anyway, when I get around to it, the scheduling tool for the guards, which is something I don't normally do. I'm also going to go, I'm actually going to max speed this out just so that the workers can remove some of this stuff. In fact, what we might as well do is go over to intake, make sure that is closed, go over to grants, and we'll get basic detention centre and then administration centre. And then we'll hire 1, 2, 3, 4 guards, and oh, we've still got the mod on to cause loads of violence. We shouldn't probably hit that. Anyway, I digress. So yeah. We're going to go for a lot of like automatic door openers and all of that sort of thing, but we'll have to see, as well as the scheduler. So this is our sort of main walkway here. They're going to come in here. This is where we'll have our standard sort of metal detectory type setup. So we'll have your doors and your metal detectors like so. This is all going to be pathway, so just pathway there, and then a pathway all the way down there as best we can anyway, so like that. And then we'll have the buildings either side that we probably want to go for. Well, we do need visitation, and we'll probably have visitation either side of this thing. You could, if you wanted to, have it so that they don't come through here, but that's not brilliant. What I'm going to do is have a closed-off visitation for the most part anyway, and I'm just thinking, do we really need like a... this big, because we need all of the staff areas, so we need things like the officers, and we need what else do we need? Probably a place for the power generators. I don't think we need too many of them though, probably a couple will suffice, but we'll see anyway. So we'll have power generators, water pump, we'll have all of the security area. Now I was very tempted to put the security area right in the centre, and I still might do that. The idea being that we have sort of I guess the cell blocks on the sides, so we'll probably have a cell block, either side. I haven't yet decided though. Normally I come in with at least some semblance of a plan. I've come in with a theory of what we will need to do, but no plan on the building. So anyway, let's just crack on. So from here we will have some visitation, which it's going to be the segregates the segregated visitation. So we'll say probably, we can say 20 to there. That should be fine. So that's going to be a total of 10 there. And then we'll just section that off. I'm going to do the same on the other side. So 20 down to there. And then that means we can have a total of 10 either side. So we've got 20 visitation in total. We're going to cancel that bit off there because it isn't that long. And then that goes to there. So the entrance will be probably entrance there. And then we'll have, I don't know, entrance there. And that should be about right. And we can do that as well, which means we can have the metal detector as they go through. Actually, with it being like that, it's probably best if we move it back over just a little bit and do that way instead, just so there's a bit more of a gap, like so. And then we'll do probably the same at the top there, so we'll have an entrance either side. That'll probably be better just because of where the prisoners are going to be. And then we'll cut that off, and then actually if we make it a little bit longer, we could have it like that, and then that's a bit better, and it also lines up with the other one, which is not an aim, you understand, but it also works out quite a bit, just because we can then have the other stuff in here. Alright, actually I might increase the size of this, I think it would be just a little bit better there, and like that. Okay, so there's that sorted, that juts out a little bit. With our pathways, obviously we're going to run some double pathways along here. They can run into there, and then across here, and then down. I'm just going to run a pathway right up in the centre there. That's not necessarily the final pathway that we're going to have, but we'll do it like that. Okay, so down to there, and that's us sorted for the time being. Right, so that's our visitation and other area. We do need things like classrooms and such, but it's not going to be I was going to say it's not going to be prisoner facing, but it probably will be, so we'll probably end up doing something like that. In terms of the security, as I mentioned, we're probably going to put it right in the center, and that's where we'll put all of our security stuff. It does cause a lot of issues itself, but we'll see how we get on there. And then we'll also probably think about, well, we need to think about storage and such, so we'll probably have storage in here. And instead of having storage lead into the facility, we don't need to have it like that. So we can have storage in here. So we'll just have a storage. I don't know, it doesn't really matter the size of it. So we'll say that sort of size there. So that's like an 8x11 or something. And then we can have another room in here, which can be our power generator area. So we'll do that. We'll go to objects and we'll say, what's that, 5x5, a 5x5. And we can put another one in there if we need to, followed by that there, which is going to be a water pump. So it's probably we probably don't need to have 3, but considering we are thinking about expansion, at least having these 3 will hopefully work out. So on this side as well, we're going to cut that right back, and then this is going to be probably our office area. We can open that up, and we can have all of our offices on one side. The problem is that it's very inefficient at the moment. If we do that, it would be a 4x4. We could do that, so we'll actually, yeah, we will do it like that. So we're going to have it so that the offices are like this, and we'll have essentially 4x4s in there. And that's not actually 4x4, that's a 4x4, but that's not 4x4. If we just cut that off there, then that is. These are slightly bigger, but we can have like a warden and an accountant in there or something. Or maybe we could just expand them right down like that and have that in there, and then finally that in there, and that makes it about right. A little bit small for some of this, and I actually don't really like the layout, so let me try that again. Let me try that again without the absolute mess up. So we'll try that like so. If we did do a 4x4, would it work out if we have it on either side? We could do that. That would actually work out, wouldn't it? So we had just like that, a 4x4 with your entrance there. Yeah, that would work out. Let's do that instead. Much better. So we'll have the entrance in there. So all these are the offices, and we've got a total of apparently we've got a total of 6 officers plus a very small bit at the back here that's, well, I was going to say is going to be for our staff room, but we have got staff needs on, so we're going to need to extend that quite a bit because we need it quite large, and also we need it to be, well, quite large, probably 16 to there. That is totally fine. We need a canteen in there as well, so part of this will be a canteen, maybe something like that. This is just a rough estimate. You understand, 5x11 should be more than enough for that. So there's a rough idea for that one. In this section here, we are going to do infirmary, I think. That wouldn't be a terrible idea, I don't believe. Anyway, so we're going to go, say, to 16, so that's a bed to there, and then we'll just cancel that bit off. Then this will come down and across, and then we can do the same thing on this side. Obviously, we will have to have an entranceway like so, and we will do that just to have a metal detector in there as well. So that's our infirmary. Morgue can go on the back here, so we'll... Actually, no, morgue will go on the back here, like so, and then we'll just remove... that's not going to work out. Is that the right size? That can't be the right size. 12 to there, and then we'll put... Maybe we'll put like just like a desk or something here, just so it looks a bit different. Or we could just do that, and that would work out. That would be fine. something like that. And then that's going to be our morgue with all of the morgue slabs on that side. Ah, that's why I was going to put it in the centre, of course. We'll have to do that then. Something like that. Not pathway, object, and then objects like that. Okay, we'll see how we get on that one then. And then we've got this big section at the bottom there that currently doesn't have any purpose, but we'll work on that in but a moment. Right, so we need a canteen and a kitchen, so I think we will put that in. I'm tempted to put yards around the outside, although what I was also thinking of doing is having the security in the centre and then having it like a big block with the guards patrolling and then line of sight directly to all of the prisoners. So let's see where the centre is of this. So in the centre of the facility, which we'll measure from probably measure from there to there, we've got 102. So okay, so if we go 51 there, let's just double check that. So let's try that out. So from there, if we go to walls and we measure up to that one, that is 51. And then from this side, it is 49. Hang on. So we need to shift it over to that side a bit, like so. That's right now, is it? So it'll be 50. Yeah, it's because it's obviously double thickness. And then technically 48 to that bit, but 50 that one there. So that there is the rough centre of the facility, like that. We're just going to get rid of the rest of these ones. That's the rough centre of the facility, so we can, if we wanted to, start measuring off from that. But what I'm going to do instead is go to this and see, make sure that we've got all of the trees removed. Most of them have been ordered to be removed, and it looks like the rest we should just be able to pick up now. In terms of money, you can see we're gaining a fairly decent amount of money as we progress on. Okay, back to the planning of this thing. So that's going to be this rough security room in the middle. Let's just guesstimate the sort of size that we're wanting from that there. So we know that that's the centre, and if we say sort of 14, 14, no, it's going to be far too big. We'll say 10 with the wall. Hang on. Let me do that again without the massive mess up. So we'll say 9, 10. So that's going to be the external wall. 10 to there. That's the external wall as well. Same on this side. 10. 10. And that's going to be the security thing, whatever that happens to be. Let me just double check all these measurements. 10, 10, 10, and then 10. Alright, and then what I'll do is I'll have that security room and guard tower there, guard tower there, guard tower there, and guard tower there. And what I'd like to do, just to give it a little bit added style, is that. And we'll sort of cut these in. So they have like a, I don't know, just it has something a little bit extra about it. Like a citadel type of a arrangement. Yeah, I like that. That's doing something. And then we will have entrances on all these sides like that. So all roads lead to this, which is pretty much just going to be a big security room. We could split it up and have the armory in there. Don't know if that's going to be the case, but we'll see how we get on. For the kitchen and canteen, we're probably going to have it around here. This is where the prisoners will leave, and then I think we'll have it so... Probably so... I'm thinking maybe like a sort of, not a dead zone per se, but more like a no man's land where you're not supposed to go near this thing. So it will actually skirt around this. So it's all based around this sort of centre section here. I would like to run that straight across like so, but I don't think it's going to happen, because instead what I'm probably going to do is have the walls set up so that we have maybe a building that size, which is kitchen and canteen. Obviously in the canteen there'll be other things in here, but we'll see. Go there. Pathways will run down to there. Down to there. And it's really making me think we should probably just do that, even though I like that little jutty out bit. just make more sense doing it like that, wouldn't it? Well, putting a wall on it would be better instead of objects. And then the pathways just run straight across. I don't think there's any reason not to do that. Bit boring, I admit, bit boring, but it's fine. And something like that. And obviously I'll plan this off to have an entrance there, entrance perhaps there. Entrance either side, like so, is probably the way to go, like that. Okay, that is fine for the time being. Now we need to think about a couple of extra things. We need to think about the... Well, we need to think about where we're going to put prisoners for a start off. I also need to remember that we will have prisoners that can turn up that'll be dangerous, and prisoners that will need protective custody, which is at least something I'm thinking about now. So what I'm going to do is have a similar system on this side here, following this layout here, which will go back to there, and along to there, and then in, and then across, and then this will be our section for protective custody, like that. The problem with this is, do we need that? And we could have it like that. No, we can't. Have to have it like that. Would that be okay? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. I mean, are we gonna... Hang on. Something's messed up here. That's what I hadn't done. That. Do we need these? Probably not. And simply because we've got to limit ourselves to guards, we've already... With these 8 sniper towers in, we've already said that the first 80 prisoners will be guarded by these. No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. But we are certainly going to have an extra bit of fencing around here, just for added security. So we will have this extra fencing, and we'll do something like that, and then we'll have the building on the inside. So this is behind multiple layers of... oh, that's wrong. It's behind multiple layers here. So there's our entranceway, and then there's another entranceway, and yeah, we'll have protective custody here, essentially. We'll have a little security room just to stop the prisoners getting past, so that is a 4x4 now. That's the right size. And then this will be our protective custody. In terms of the Supermax and stuff, they're just going to be wherever they need to be. Okay, so we have this walkway around here. We may put sniper towers in here. I haven't yet decided. And... right, where do we want to go from here? So let's just have a quick look at our rooms. So cells and holding cells and solitary and dormitories, no. Kitchen, canteens planned. Shower not planned. Yard we haven't got planned, but that's just going to fit in wherever we can. Storage and deliveries are just going to be opposite like we normally do. Garbage is same. Offices we've already got planned. Common room, no. Visitation, yes. Staff room, yes. Exports, yes. Chapel, no. Parole, no. Reception, yes. So that's okay. In terms of extra buildings, we need laundry, library. Actually, no, we don't. Because we're not going to have a library, we're not going to have a forestry, we're not going to have a cleaning cupboard, we're not going to have a... We might have a classroom, but I think it probably is going to be set to perhaps staff only, or maybe this is just a really, really big... Do I have something like that? We could have that as like a really big common room or something. But I'm also very tempted to have that as the really big common room, and then have that as the sort of really big chapel, but I haven't yet decided. Let's get the dormitories and other things done first, or the cell blocks rather. So if this is going to be one cell block, could we theoretically build from there? We could. I'm also thinking, do we really need this bit around here? I don't think we do. So all we'll do is we'll cut that up, we'll go down to there. I'll actually use a wall this time. We'll have the entrance in, and then we'll do that, which is our security bit, and then we'll have all of our protective custody cells either side. So that's going to be a fairly big protective custody area. For this other part then, let's just have a, I'm very tempted to have it like that. We'll have a pathway that goes all the way along, although we've committed ourselves to putting the pathway right next to here, but then not around here. So, you know what, I will forego that and do that. So it's only this central bit that's doing the weird sort of gap thing. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of space, and we've already been quite inefficient in places anyway. So this is protective custody, fairly big, but it's fine. It means we can have things in the centre as well. Okay, so that's going to be fine. This will go down eventually to what will become death row on the left-hand side, probably, and also a separate Supermax area. So we're planning off now for a separate section for the prisoners to go to. And then we want to have pathways rather than anything else down to there. And then we'll have walls, which will go like so. And that could be our 2 cell blocks. So we'll have the pathways go down like there. And then we'll do the same thing again, perhaps. But this is getting very, very high capacity and something I didn't originally envisage. But let's assume we're going to do something like that. Let's just roughly work out what we could have. So we're not going to go with anything other than the standard 3 by 2 cells. So we're going to do that, and let's just plan off either side here. These are going to be fairly self-contained, so we'll have the showers inside there, and maybe even a yard inside it. I hadn't originally planned a yard off inside it, but it might work out. This one at the back is going to be slightly different in terms of the sizing, which isn't a problem because we can have grading, and we may go for grading. So we'll do this like so, and put all of these in like this, and then we'll roughly know once we've worked it out. Good grief, I wish I could actually place these properly. Yeah, we'll work out roughly what sort of capacity we have once we've got them all in. In terms of this back bit here, we do want to have it so perhaps we have like something like this, and then these are our graded cells you see in the centre. No, that's not doing anything for me. Let's try this a different way. Right, so slightly different grade. Same size, 3 by 2. Same size, just slightly different grading and layout, but it also means we can probably get some more cells in the centre. Okay, let's try that. I'm not gonna do the same thing again. Well, I am gonna do the same thing again, but I'm not gonna put all the extra lines in. From the back here, we want to have it so we'll just say that perhaps. Do we want to walk all the way around the outside? We don't really need it, really, do we? We could just have it like that and have the same sort of thing where we have those in there, then those in there, then the walkway. And that. So we have graded cells. They're not very high graded, but they are at least a bit graded. Graded to there. We'll do this just so we've got the model prison. Like so. And then you've got this walkway down here. Sadly, no shower at the moment. Okay. We could do that. And have showers either side. That is different, and I don't mind it. Means they all funnel down here then in these showers. I like the difference in it, and I don't mind this bit down the centre where we can put, if we wanted to, like some benches or something. Not too sure them showers are doing anything for me. I'll have a think about that one. What do you think about that one? Let me know. So, there's one of those. What size is it? It is 31 by 35. We could have another one. So we have 4 of these in total. That is a possibility. Like that. And then we have the pathway going down. Pathway going down. Once again, the entranceway would be on this side. Hang on. Ah, is that the problem? Yeah, it's an odd sizing. Okay. It would mean then probably 2 entranceways there and there. No, them showers are definitely not doing anything for me. But it means that if we have this, go along like so. Don't know. Could we have something like that? And showers on that side? Don't know. What do you think about that one? Let me know. Okay, so there's that. We'll go back over to our objects. Oh, sorry, pathways. Pathways will run... Pathways will run... Where will they run? Pathways will run along here and then down there. And then we've got these two big areas here, which is pretty much going to be yard as far as I'm aware. Maybe shifting this down to that and joining it up would be a good idea, but I like this. I like the idea of that being a perimeter wall, you see. So we'll see. And then we've got big building up here, which currently doesn't have a purpose, but we need at least. I mean, let's assume, perhaps wrongly, that we're going to have a chapel in here. Say that's the chapel there. We can have a classroom in there. Something like that, perhaps. Is that the right size? It's a little bit shorter. We'll say that. So that's an 8 by something or other. And then a big room here, which can be whatever it needs to be. So there's that in there. And then this could be yard. Yard is quite large, actually, these yards. Probably a bit bigger than I originally anticipated, but there we go. What are we missing out on? Well, first things first, we've got no protective... Sorry, we do have protective custody, but we don't have any solitary. And if we don't have solitary, then we don't have any holding cells. So there's a fair bit that we've not got yet. We also don't have any parole, which we could put in here, perhaps. I'm very tempted to put buildings on here, either side, and see if that will do something. We could also start taking up room around here as well, so we can have like the entranceway there and change it up. I don't know. I'm going to have a think about that one. That is the rough idea for this series. So like I say, it's going to be high risk. I really need to know what we're going to do with this one. Whether it's going to be, whether we change it to be slightly different when it comes to the shower. What I could do is have this instead, this is just thinking aloud. I'll keep the bottom one, but I'll cancel the top one. Let me just see if this works out a bit better. We can cancel that. All right, we'll double check the sizing, which is 35 by 31. So we could say, if we wanted to, 35 by 31, like that. Sadly, that means that we can't then walk up here. Yeah, what I was going to do is have it so we have it that side and then they face out into this, which would have yards either side, which would work much better. That would work much better, wouldn't it? Let me get rid of all this yard. I think we're going to do something like that, but we just need to determine the size of it, you see. Let me try this again. So this would be like that, which is actually 33 by 31, whereas this is 35 by 31. So it's not completely... Oh no, it'll be 34 because I messed up the planning. So it'll be slightly different size, only slightly. Let's go pathways. Pathways will go along like that. Pathways are still going to go along there. It's this bit here where it gets to that, when really we need a gap of 2 all the way along. Okay, that is the rough layout there, where we have these two cells, sorry, these two areas facing inwards. I think that's going to stay. What I'm going to do is tweak and change the rough size of it, just so we can get them both identical. I know when we're cloning it, well, we won't be cloning, but we can basically copy one and mirror it to the other side. That'd be better. And I'll also work on the internals of the cells between this episode and next. There's still a lot of questions to be answered when it comes to things like where is our protective custody, oh, well, sorry, I keep calling protective custody, where is our solitary, where is things like the armed guards and that sort of thing. All of that we will add as we progress on to the building part of it, which will be from next episode onwards. So comments in the comments what you think we should do when it comes to changing these bits up, and any tweaks and changes, then by all means let me know. Just fair warning, I'm probably going to record the next episode straight away, so I can't implement all of the changes then, but I will show you what I've worked up here. But I just want to crack on with the building straight away, just so we can get things, even just some of the grants done, because I know that a lot of the things around here probably won't be changing. But we'll see how we get on. As always, hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.